I do many, many things. I am a writer, a doctor, a nuclear physicist, a theoretical philosopher. But above all, I am a man. Hopelessly inquisitive man, just like you.
If you would be so kind, would you mind introducing yourself for the podcast?
Yes, hello everybody. This is V-Rex from Arvas, Norway here, and we hope you're having a good time and stay tuned.
And how would you describe the music of Arvas?
Oh, it's a fine blend of different stuff from the 80s, like some thrash metal stuff from the Bay Area, San Francisco, and some German influences as well, and a lot of classical music. And I put it in, and I blend it with some more old school black metal from the very early 90s or the end of the 80s and over to the 90s.
And you're based in Norway, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So would that make Arvas a true Norwegian black metal band?
Yeah, it's I would not really call my music black metal, but people call it black metal, so I guess it's something in there. So we're not one of those true Norwegian bands because that was a little later, and yeah, I tried to do something else.
Cool. So let's go over the history of the band. When did you form, and what did you set out to accomplish?
Started back in I guess 92 or 93, and I was in different bands back then, and I had this solo thing I did, and I didn't have a name for it, so we named it Örth, and it was basically me and a friend of mine who was playing bass, and we had Örth from Nocturno on drums, because I was in Nocturno at the same time, and we just did a couple of songs and nothing serious, just there and then. And then we had some different projects together, and after a while I just focused on the Orth projects. And then I got Erik Brødreskift Grim with me on drums, and we recorded this first album, Nocturno Inferno. And we had Örth with us on bass on that one, and I was playing guitar and was singing. And after Erik committed suicide, I just put the whole project on ice, and this was back in '96. And then I did a lot of other stuff, and I renamed the project Arvas after a couple of years, and I took it from there, really.
So Arvas mostly started as a solo project. At what point did it become a full band? Or do you still consider it a solo project?
I started playing live with this Arvas thing in 2009, and that was the same time as we recorded this first album as Arvas and Blessed from Below. And then I had a drummer with me, and it was me and him. And we had session musicians with us when we did live stuff. And these musicians just came and went over the years. And it was sort of like a solo project, but with the different influences from the other guys who was in with us. And then I had to let this drummer go after a while. So then it was more a solo project once more with different musicians in and out. But it became more and more like a band with the whole band feeling with touring and stuff. So, and nowadays it's more like a whole band because everybody is contributing to the music and how we do things.
So to be clear, when you record, are you recording as a band, or are you still recording all the instruments?
On the new album, I am doing everything because I didn't have musicians with me. So I had to do everything by myself in my own studio, and that was a bit of a challenge, but it was okay. And I got musicians right after I recorded the album, so the other albums are basically me recording everything except the drums.
So let's jump into that album. It's the fifth Arvas album, and it's called Equanimity, and it was released in November of 2019. Tell me a little bit about the album. You mentioned you recorded it in your own studio.
Yeah, I had everything set up because I have this little studio here, and I was having the songs ready. They were pretty much more or less ready, composed right on the release of the fourth album, and the plan was to do this album with that lineup, but I had to let them go as well. So when it was time to do recordings, I just did it myself, and I had to practice a lot on the drums because I hadn't been playing drums for years. So that was basically the only challenge with it, and I spent a lot of time mixing it, and wasn't satisfied at all, so I had to give it away to my producer. He just did the mix and the mastering. So after a lot of back and forth, we were finally happy with the result, and that was it.
And the producer was Tom. Is that correct?
Yeah, Tom Qualsvold.
Qualsvold, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the writing sessions for the album. How long had you been working on this?
Been working on it since 2019, no, 17, I guess, because the songs were pretty much ready way back, and that's how I work. I usually have an album or two ready, just standing by, and I pick songs. I have usually maybe 15 to 20 songs to pick from, and so I have to. There's a lot of time I spend to just to put the right songs, because I have to fit it in what I'm doing there and then, and I sometimes go back and listen to the other albums to see if I should do something similar or something completely new. All the albums are very different from each other, which is pretty much a little bit of the point with me, because I like to develop, and it's not. I don't want to be stuck in doing something that is genre decided. So whatever I do is just pretty spontaneous, more or less.
And how would you compare Equanimity to the previous Arvas albums?
I think it's a little bit more progressive and a little straightforward in terms of the tempo, because this time I just wanted an album that went from was very intense from start to finish, and I think I did that okay, and yeah, the critics are good, and also the way I wrote the songs are a little bit different. There's different song structures, and the arrangements are a little bit better. Yes, so I think I just developed a little bit on all that, and there's some cool melodies and solos stuff in there as well, and yeah, it's a little bit different music, a little bit more progressive, I guess.
Speaking of progressive, at the end of the album, you included a Corona cover.
Yeah.
Why did you pick Corona?
It was a challenge from a friend of mine who wanted me to do it, and it's also one of my favorite songs from back in the days from that band. And I also know the guys in Corona, and they also thought I should do it, so I just did it.
Pardon my ignorance, but what makes Corona so challenging? Is it just the riffs? Is it the fact that they change time signatures a lot?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of everything, and they do have an interesting way of playing, and it's difficult to do it, so you have to kind of practice this stuff a lot, and it's a completely different way from how I would usually play, so different techniques and stuff. So I had to sit down for a while to get it done the right way and make the song justice. I just played it more or less as they do it, but some artistic freedom on the solo, and that was it.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Thank you.
So Equanimity will be the first album that you're releasing through Satanic Art Media. How did they come to release this album?
The label boss is a good friend of mine, and he's been working with me for 5 or 6 years as a manager, and but it's not like a friend. So we had just kept in touch. He used to be my booking agent before as well, but he has a lot of different projects going, so he doesn't really have time to do everything full on. He also has a day job, so it's too much for him to focus 100% on everything. So, but this label he has pretty cool to be on because we get things on our own terms, and it's okay.
So in addition to Equanimity, which came out in 2019, in 2017, Örth's album Nocturno Inferno was released for the first time. Tell me a little bit about the album. Tell me about the writing process of the album and why it took so long for the album to be released.
Yeah, it's the songs on that one. I don't remember when I wrote them. It's they are basically made of demos from very early on, and we clipped the riffs together so they became songs, and then back then we had to rehearse a lot because we didn't have home studios as we have now, and you had to record it in a pro studio. And when we had rehearsed the songs and everybody knew them, we just went into the studio and did it in Greg Holland with Pitten as producer. And yeah, we had to do it in different sessions because I had some other songs I wanted to include that were more or less instrumental songs, and there was one song that we had to use a drum machine on because that was recorded after Grimm committed suicide, I guess. Yeah, so, but that was it really. And we had to just, I wanted to release it, and the label back then didn't want to release it, and we kind of got sacked from the label. So we just released it ourselves in a few copies, and we were going to do some shows as well. But nothing really happened. Nothing came out of it really. So just had it on ice, and I had the master tape here, and we had some questions about this album, and because people wanted it out, and Satanic Art wanted to release it for me, so they did it after I talked with the family of Blood Shift and Arvas and everything. So we were set to go, but there will not be any more releases from Örth, I guess.
So just to clarify, with the exception of the songs that you added a drum machine to, these were the original sessions from the 90s, is that correct?
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, it was recorded by Pitten at Greg Holland, and so listeners of the podcast will recognize that name from all the classic releases by, for example, Emperor, Immortal, Mayhem's The Mysteries, all those classic Norwegian black metal albums.
Yeah.
What was it like recording with Pitten?
It was pretty cool, actually. I have been recording with him years before the Orth album, and it was pretty funny to work with him. He is a solid guy. From when you look back at it, he was very good as a producer and a studio kind of guy, and very funny to work with. And we knew him pretty much, anyways, because he was a part of that whole music community in Bergen, and we went to the same pubs, and back then everybody was friends and hung out together. So it was more or less like just go and record with a friend, more or less.
As somebody who grew up hearing about the Norwegian metal scene secondhand, there are a lot of myths and misconceptions about the Norwegian scene. What would you say the biggest misconception is that people get wrong about the Norwegian metal scene?
I don't know. It's and I think people believe that we were very dead serious in how we were acting out. I mean, it was not like everybody walked around in corpse paint and spikes all the time. It was kind of pretty laid back, and we were basically more into the partying stuff, which was kind of correct. So there was a lot of partying and a lot of socializing, and there was some competition among the bands, kind of friendly competition, I would say. Yeah, and there was a lot of some negative stuff as well too. But I guess everybody was pretty good friends and hung out. Everybody in the Oslo scene and the Bergen scene. Then everybody came on and we met up and got gigs together and stuff. So it was a cool little black social club, more or less.
And what is it like now?
Oh, now it's a little bit different because we are older and people have families and stuff, and it's not the same kind of socializing part. I guess maybe it is that in Bergen, because the new generation is up and running, and they are working more as session musicians for other bands. Yeah, but me personally, I don't socialize at all with people. I don't live in Bergen anymore, so it's my social life is more or less with only with the band I play in every Wednesday.
So before I let you go, tell me what you have planned. What's in the future for Arvas?
We're gonna play our first gig for 2020 here in Kristiansand at the university here, and then we are gonna we're gonna do something in the Netherlands, and maybe some festivals in the summer, and in the fall we are trying to do some touring in Europe. Hopefully, we need some booking agents to help us out with this. So we just have to wait and see. We haven't had nothing confirmed yet, but we're working on a small tour. Yes.
So you mentioned that you write songs in batches. Do you have any ideas for the next Arvas album and when that might come out?
Yes, it's already done, and it will come out in 2021. And I did all those songs in one session right after I had sent the rough mix over to Tom Closewell for Equanimity. So then I started working on the new album, and that is the music on that one is more death metal combined with some black metal elements, and it's very fast paced. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna go. We're gonna try to record the drums for this one now this summer.
Very cool. So Equanimity is the latest Arvas album. It's out now through Satanic Art Media. How can people order this album? How can they find it?
They can find it at Plastic Head Distribution, and they can also order it at Satanic Art Media, and it's also available on other web shops who sell metal music. And you can also stream it on Spotify.
And if listeners want to follow you online, how can they do that?
They can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook.
And you have a YouTube channel too, right? You do like little
Yeah,
you do
I have a YouTube channel.
like video blogs from time to time.
Yes, I do. I have been a little bit lazy on that one the later weeks, but I will be back pretty soon. And yes, they can follow us on YouTube as well. The album is there too, and there are live clips and stuff and links to different gigs. So follow on YouTube as well.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, thanks for listening in and for support. And if you know any promoters, have them mail me so we can get us around the globe.
What's the best way to mail you? Through Facebook?
Yes, through Facebook. It's in the contact field on the Arvas page. It's it's a mail address. You can mail me.
Thank you so much.
No problem.